Okay, hi guys. So I decided to do the question and answers in a slightly different format this time. I thought doing it in a video would be a little bit more interesting, a bit more engaging, and I'd be able to answer the questions in a bit more detail. So I've actually got a good few questions to get through, so I'll get started. So first question is just says dumbbells or barbells. So, dumbbells or barbells, really, for the majority of people, you're not going to get a massive amount of difference in terms of your results, whether you're using dumbbells or barbells. The main difference with a barbell from a dumbbell is that you can load a lot more weight onto a barbell than you can with a dumbbell, and it's easier to stabilize as well. So, if you're training for strength, generally barbells are going to be the way to go. Certainly for your big lifts like squats, bench press, deadlift, especially the deadlift and hinging exercises like that, you're going to want to use a barbell. If you're just training for muscle gain, you can throw in dumbbell stuff like dumbbell bench press, dumbbell rows. So to answer your question, they should both be used in any good strength and conditioning program. If you're training for strength, I would lean towards barbells, okay? But they should definitely both be used. Good question. Next one. This is actually a question that I got from somebody earlier in the week. So, funny to see it asked here again, but thoughts on beta-alanine. Okay, so beta-alanine is a supplement that you can buy in supplement shops. Actually, beta-alanine has some reasonably promising research done on it. There's not a load of studies that have been done, but the high quality ones which have been done actually have shown that it can help a little bit with muscle mass gain and endurance performance. Now, like with most supplements, we're talking about a minor improvement, okay? Unless you're using something like steroids, most supplements just aren't going to give you a massive improvement in your performance. So I think the study that I looked at with beta-alanine showed something like a 2 to 3% performance increase in whatever endurance exercise tests they were doing. So if you're somebody who does endurance exercise like long distance running, cycling, CrossFit, it could be beneficial for that. And if you're trying to gain muscle mass, it could also confer a small benefit. As with anything, I'm always going to say that you should stick to the basics: nutrition, showing up to train consistently, sleeping properly. Majority of people who ask me about supplements aren't doing those three things, and really, unless you're doing those three things perfectly, I don't see the point in taking supplements because you're leaving a lot of gains on the table already as it is. Okay, so beta-alanine, it's good. If you want to spend the money on it, go ahead. The research shows that it probably does work to some extent. I'd like to see more research done on it. It's certainly not as well backed as something like creatine, but by all means, go ahead. What kind of training should kids do to make them as successful in sport in the future as possible? So this is a really common question that parents have. I work as a school strength and conditioning coach, so I'm used to training kids age 12 up to 18, and first of all, the main thing that people forget that really can't be emphasized enough is let them be kids. Alright, so kids should not be made to feel like training is a pressure type of thing. It shouldn't be overly structured. It shouldn't be something that's going to stress them out, okay? You only get to be a kid once in your life. It should be enjoyable. When I do training with kids that are, prepubescent, sort of 11 to 13 or so, it's all about getting them moving, teaching them how to coordinate their bodies properly. And you can do things like strength training, and there's loads of research to show that that's really beneficial for kids. Kids can still get injured like anybody playing sports, So it's important that they do build up strength and learn how to move their bodies properly. But with questions like these, I'm always very careful to preface it that, okay, well, first of all, does the kid want to do what you're trying to get them to do? Even if there was a perfect way for them to go, it's going to have a negative impact on them down the line anyway. If you try forcing them stuff to do, they're just going to end up burnt out by the time they hit their teen years or late teens. If they've been doing sports and training that they hate, they're just going to be sick of it by the time that they get older. So you need to set a foundation of a mindset of sport and activity being a fun thing. In terms of what kind of training they should do, like I said, things that are going to improve their general motor skills and coordination. So kids have a really unique ability that adults don't have, which is that their brains are they have a high plasticity. So what that means is that they can learn skills much faster than an adult can. You'll often hear people talk about how, you know, they're not good at a musical instrument because they didn't start at a young age. And there's actually some truth to the idea that if you were going to become like a musical prodigy, you probably would want to have started from a young age, at least with some kind of an instrument. And a similar thing for sports and movement as well. Kids who start off early, there is some good motor control and skill acquisition research around just the neurology of our brains, that if they start early, learn how to move their bodies properly, they're going to be in a very advantageous position for when they start getting into actual competitive sports. So exercise programs that include a wide array of movements, everything from squats to push-ups, lunges, running, bounding, skipping, lateral movements, all of that stuff should be included. And your kids should be playing a wide variety of sports. Not so many that they're burnt out and don't have any free time to actually just be a kid and go and play or socialize, but it's a good idea that the kid plays a wide variety of sports so that they build up different motor skills. Different sports have different things to offer. If you play basketball, there's an awful lot of lateral movement because you're working in very short, confined spaces. If you do something like athletics, then you're learning how to run properly, and good running technique obviously transfers into field sports really well. So, to answer your question, they should play a wide variety of sports. They should learn how to move properly, load that cautiously, but it can be loaded with light weights. And then as they start maturing, hitting puberty, then you can start talking about proper training. But first and foremost, it should be fun. Okay, a lot of talking there. Right, next one. Let's see here. How does one get a sick rig? For those of you who aren't aware, and I wasn't aware until I asked John this, rig means body. Kegels and coffee, man. It's a lifestyle. Kegels and coffee. Okay. Next one then. Is there any advantage to having Irish genetics? Loads. And actually this feeds into the next question. Why is your hair black and your beard ginger? Irish genetics. Okay. We've all got some little coppers in here with the Irish genes. Let's see. I've got this in the next screenshot I took. Thoughts on F45? It's a trend. It's a trend that gets some people exercising, which in the state of modern society with the obesity crisis and just how poor everybody's health habits are. Look, anything that gets people moving, exercising at a high intensity regularly is, at least at a surface introductory level to fitness, it's a good thing. Alright? Is it how I would train clients? No. Definitely not how I would train myself. I mean, the issues with F45 are just that from what I can tell, like I've never done an F45 class, but I have looked at the website before. I've looked at posts that people have put up from doing the classes. It looks really random. It looks like you're doing a load of random exercises at a really high intensity, really good for getting your heart rate up. If you're somebody who wanted to take it that step further with your fitness and really cared about like getting progress, putting on some muscle, getting some strength gain, losing a significant amount of weight, I think the training does have to be structured, okay? It doesn't mean you have to be training like a professional athlete, but you do have to be sticking to some kind of core group of basic exercises, you know, some kind of a squat pattern exercise that you're going to work on consistently over time and try to build the load up on, some kind of pushing, some kind of pulling. I think this is the main thing with most exercise classes, is that there's no route for progression. It's just either the same thing without any progression, or they're doing something completely different. So there's no way that you can progress, because last week I did lunges, this week I'm doing kettlebell swings, next week I'm going to be doing jumping jacks. Like, you can't progress and get fitter doing that. Like, I've got pretty chunky legs, there's a good bit of muscle mass on my legs, and people have asked me loads about like, oh, how did you do that? Like, I just squatted for the past 5 years and added weight, and I'm not even that strong. And the people who are stronger than me and have bigger legs did the same. They just kept doing squats. Like, this stuff isn't that complicated, but sexy and you know, fancy technical looking things with shiny equipment and stuff sells, and that's fine. Like, if somebody wants to do that and that gets them moving and sweating, that's fine. But yeah, it's fine. It's not how I would train people. It's a trend. There'll be another class just like it in a few years' time that'll become the next big thing. Body recomposition. Is it possible? So for those of you that aren't aware, this is kind of like more of a bodybuilding community type term. Body recomposition is basically the idea that you could lose body fat while also gaining muscle mass, okay? So the question is it possible? It is 100% possible. There are studies that have been done which have objectively shown data where people have lost body fat and gained muscle mass. Now, there is a caveat to this, which is that it seems to be a particular group of people who are able to do this. So, the first group is newbies. So if you're brand new to training, you can make outrageous gains. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can do cycling and your squat will go up. You can do F45 and you'll lose body fat and gain muscle mass. Now, it doesn't happen for everybody, but if it is going to happen for somebody, it's almost certain that it's going to be in that beginner stage, okay? Because your body is highly sensitive to training. You're going from basically doing nothing to doing something, and it's a lot easier for you to make gains and lose body fat while subsequently gaining muscle mass. That would be the first group. The second group would probably be people who are significantly overweight or obese. So, and oftentimes they're falling into that same group of beginners or newbies to training. But essentially, you know, if you have a large amount of fat to lose, well, again, you don't have to do very much work to start the process of getting that fat off. And you can do that while gaining muscle, okay? So, like, it wouldn't be that surprising or irregular for someone who's obese to start doing some weight training, lose maybe 5 kilos, and they might gain 2 kilos in muscle. And actually, this can be a reason why sometimes people think that training programs aren't working for them, because they haven't lost weight on the scales. But yet, if you were to take a before and after picture, they look way better, because either the scale hasn't shifted or it's only gone down by a kilo or two. But you have to remember that they might have lost a few kilos of fat, but the weight that they put on at the same time was muscle mass, which everybody wants, whether they know it or not. That toned look that people want, that's muscle mass. They've just been scared into thinking that it's going to make them look bulky. Okay, right. Next question. Just make sure this video isn't going on too long. I'll wrap it up soon. Yeah, I think this is the last question. 2 questions to go. How would you change Insta Fitness and fake weight loss accounts if you were Mickey D. Higg? Michael D. Higgins. So, how would I change Instagram Fitness and fake weight loss accounts? I'd get rid of them, you know. Look, it's a sad truth that the fitness industry is, by and large, influenced and promoted by people who, number one, aren't particularly knowledgeable. In some instances, don't have any knowledge about how to actually get people fit, or what good nutrition is, or what good technique looks like in the gym. The majority of the fitness industry at the moment is actually more to do with modeling and marketing than it has to do with good information or helpful information that's actually going to help people. And that's kind of the nature of the beast when you're dealing with Instagram, which is an image-based social media platform where you're going to get more views if you put up more appealing images. And I mean, we as consumers are partially to blame for this, because we're the people who are clicking like on these photos and following these people. I mean, if you really don't want, you know, X, Y, or Z Instagram model to have such a big influence, you know, stop following them, stop liking them. People don't help themselves by following these people. Now, I try as a professional to combat it as much as I can by putting out good information. You have to do a little bit of kind of playing the game, if you will, of putting up images that are appealing to people, yeah, putting up photos of your rig, as John would put it. But look, as long as Instagram is an image-based social media platform, I don't see these people going away. I would like to see people who are giving out dangerous and downright just incorrect, non-factual information about fitness and especially nutrition to be held accountable, whether that's by some kind of legal or I don't know, some kind of a body or organization that will actually police the personal training and fitness industry. Like, any personal trainer who's worth their salt will tell you that that's one of the main issues right now. One of the main obstacles stopping people from getting the help that they need with this stuff is that the barrier to entry into the field is so low that anybody can be a trainer or a coach, and it means that you get a load of gobshites who have no idea what they're talking about, getting people injured by having them use bad technique, putting them into this endless loop of crash diets because they don't know what they're talking about nutrition-wise. It's just like these people either don't care, so there's 2 possibilities. Either they don't care, so they know that what they're doing is wrong and they don't care, which is maybe worse, or they're just downright ignorant and don't realize that what they're doing is bad. That would probably be the better reality. I'm not sure which is true. I think there's some that fall either side of the fence, but regardless of what the truth is, it's just bad for the consumer. So yeah, it'd be great if it didn't exist, but it exists. And all that good coaches can do is put out information and hope that people will will absorb that information and use it. Okay, last question. Let me find it here. Here we go. How would you... Oh, that was it. Oh, what would you say you have gained mentally from this fitness journey? That's a very deep question. I don't know if I call it a fitness journey. I guess it is. What would I say I've gained mentally? The thing that I really like about fitness is that if you can be successful in fitness, if you can improve your fitness level, and this is especially true of something like strength training, which most people will realize I'm most passionate about. If you can be successful in that, I believe that you can translate that success into just about any other area of life, whether it's businesses, relationships, any area where you could be successful. Generally, the same principles apply. Okay, I would say the same, that like if you are someone who's not fit and has been successful in business, you can translate those skills into improving your fitness. Because fitness requires what? It requires dedication. It requires consistency. It requires patience. It requires planning and sticking to the plan. All of this stuff can be used in other areas of life. So, yeah, fitness has, I suppose, just taught me that, when you work hard at something and you show up every day, or, all the days that you planned, you make a plan, you follow it to a T. And especially true of strength training is if you're patient and you trust the process, that eventually good things will come. All right, I have yet to see anybody not do that stuff, or I've yet to see anybody do that stuff and not get results when it comes to fitness. And I think you would find the same would be true in other areas of life as well. And just look, fitness makes you feel good. Not only the endorphin rush that you get after doing a really hard workout, yeah, that's cool. But you feel good about yourself when you set a target for something and you achieve it. And working in a gym, that time and time again is the main thing that people give to me as feedback about, what they've gained from it or what keeps them coming back. It's, realizing that they actually can do these things. So many people that I have come in to me who either fell off the wagon and haven't trained in years or have never gotten into fitness genuinely don't believe that they can do the things that they see like these Instagram models doing. By the way, most of these Instagram models have shit form and aren't that strong. They're just really good at making themselves look good on camera. Everybody can do a good push-up. Everybody can do a good squat. If you work hard enough at those things, you can get stronger at them. You can move really good weights. You can get fitter. You can run for longer. You can hit your fitness goals. But you just have to be patient with it, and you have to have an intelligent plan. Okay, I've already gone pretty long on this video, 23 minutes. Listen, I hope you liked the video, guys. If you liked the format of the video versus the Instagram stuff, let me know. I'll probably do another one in the future. If you ever have any questions, just feel free to send me a DM. I'm more than happy to help people out with any queries they have about health and fitness and that sort of stuff. And I'll probably do another Q&A on Instagram still, just the normal way at some point as well. All right, have a good day, and thanks for listening.